Okay.
Okay.
We'll just start. So a very good evening to all of you who are joining us for our regular Saturday Vibe Talks. We take great pride in hosting these talks because we get to know a little bit about the Himalayas and our rich cultural heritage and these beautiful mountains which have so much to offer in every which way. Today, particularly, I'm so happy that Lochen Tulku Rinpoche ji, who will be taking us on a journey into the Heart Sutra, which I just played. The version that I played was Imi Oi's version of the Heart Sutra. And if you all wish to hear, it's a very soothing mantra. A sutra, and it really tells you a lot about formlessness, form, beginning, end, and all these existential questions that we ask ourselves. A little bit about who Rinpoche ji is, what is his lineage. During the 10th century, Rinchen Zangpo, Lotsawa Rinchen Zangpo, as he is addressed, was a great temple builder. He built approximately 108 temples throughout the Himalayan region, including Western Tibet. It is said that he built all these temples overnight through his miracle powers. However, we still have remaining temples in India, the Himalayan region, such as Ladakh, Spiti, Kinnaur. These temples are well known to the world because of their fine art and architecture. The 18th reincarnation of Lotsawa Rinchen Zangpo is Lochen Tulku Rinpoche ji, who was born in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh, a scholar, a master of Buddhist philosophy and Tantrayana Buddhism since 1985. Now, interestingly, in 2017, I had gone to Ladakh and we had organized a seminar with my friend Sonam, who's an archaeologist. And the seminar pertained to being on the footsteps of Lotsawa Rinchen Zangpo. Little did I know that this quest, the seminar, will lead me on to Tulku Rinpoche ji in Kinnaur. And I remember messaging him once, and then we met, and it was such a beautiful meeting, and we have stayed in touch ever since. Lochen Tulku Rinpoche ji received an intensive and large number of instructions on both Sutra and Tantra from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, his two tutors, and most respected and practiced master, His Eminence Lati Rinpoche ji. He had his formal education in Buddhist Dialectic Institution in Dharamshala and holds a Uma Ranjampa postgraduate degree. Rinpoche ji runs monasteries in the Indian Himalayan region and has tens and thousands of disciples. And you would only understand if you would be on the road and Rinpoche ji would come. Oh my God, the kind of retinue and the kind of followers and worshippers he has. I remember going to Spiti, and in one of the stores that I went into, and I said, oh, Rinpoche ji is very well known to me, and I'm staying at the Key Monastery. They were so happy to know that. So Rinpoche ji carries a stature that is unparalleled. The kind of presence and energy he emits, he really takes his devotees under him, and they really love him so much. Rinpoche ji also is the head of the Key Monastery, the beautiful Key Monastery, which is perched on a cliff and has this rich legacy and history. So without wasting much time, I will request Rinpoche ji to come and give a talk on the very important and the very relevant Heart Sutra for today's talk. So Rinpoche ji, over to you. I hope he didn't get disconnected.
No, I'm here.
Okay, I can't see you.
Dr. Sonali, we can see him. It's just that he's not the main person. But if we scroll to the
I had
gallery view.
I had added the pin on him, so I
I think, he disconnected earlier. So if you pin him again, I think.
Okay, I've pinned him again. So
Okay.
thank you, Kenneth, for helping me with that.
No, thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
organizing this. Lochen Tulku Rinpoche ji. It's so good to
Yes.
see you. I'm dialing in from
Yeah,
Singapore.
I know.
I need
Kenneth,
to,
yep.
yeah. Thank you. Rinpoche
Okay.
ji, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
before Rinpoche ji starts, a little bit, I forgot to tell you, but you know, a lot of you are new here, a little bit about the Himalayan Institute of Cultural and Heritage Studies. In the chat, I have enlisted everything. So when you're free, you can go read it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our free newsletter. You can come every Saturday for our talks. They're free as well. And we recently moved from Kulu to near Shimla in a little village called Dhami. The campus is there and we are working in synergy with Pahari Vibes with Mahima Dutt. And we are also starting a non-profit in America with Neeraj Veer called the Himalayan Conservation and Preservation Society. So please keep in touch with us. You follow us and learn what we do for a sustainable, culturally rich Himalayas and to keep documenting the rich legacy that we have. So over to you, Rinpoche ji, with your Heart Sutra.
Okay, thank you, Sonali. Thank you very much. Good morning to everybody who are in the States, and good evening, my friends in Singapore and other places. Yeah, Sonali Gupta, the other day, Sonali Gupta invited me to give a talk on Heart Sutra on this Saturday. And so I have known her for last several years, and she has been spending a lot of time in my state, Himachal state, which is in the north part of India. And Dr. Sonali, she is a great scholar, and she is working very hard in the field of Himalayan culture and arts and so forth. So I'm very happy for that. And so I couldn't avoid her invitation. So I'm here today. Then she asked me to give a talk on Heart Sutra. So we will discuss a little bit about Heart Sutra. So I have got Heart Sutra in my hand. This is Heart Sutra, the teaching of Buddha. Actually, the sutra we call the words of the Buddha Sutra. Sutra means the words of Buddha. So, for example, there are a lot of teachings and commentaries written and given by other Buddhist scholars like Nagarjuna, Asanga, but there are a lot of Atisha, so lots of Pandits from India. But their teachings we don't say sutra. The sutra means the words of Buddha. So this is called Heart Sutra. That means the essence of all the words that spoken by Buddha when Buddha was alive in India. So that's why it is called Heart Sutra. This is the essence of all the teachings. So actually in Tibetan, I follow Tibetan Buddhism. There are many Buddhists in the world, and they follow different traditions. All traditions comes from Buddha Shakyamuni. There's no question about that. But the traditions and the lineages are slightly different. So I follow Tibetan Buddhism. We talk in Tibetan Buddhism. We have over 100 volumes called the Sutras of Buddha. So among them, this is the heart of all those sutras. This is the essence of all those sutras. So, what is what he talked in this sutra? So mainly he talked about the real situation of the universe, the world, the universe, and according to Buddhism, we do not know the reality of the universe. That is why then we receive a lot of suffering. So therefore, it is considered very important to realize what is the real state of all the phenomena. So that's here Buddha talks about the real state of the nature, the real nature of the phenomena. And so I only know Buddhist philosophy. I don't know much about history. So I studied Buddhist philosophy as my principal subject. So I know a little bit about Buddhist philosophy. So I will talk philosophically about this sutra. And I don't think I should go through the sutra because I don't think many of you are not Buddhist, so you don't need to know the great detail about how to get to enlightenment. So actually, the sutra explains how to get to enlightenment. We call this 5 paths to get to enlightenment, or 5 state to get to enlightenment. So I don't think we need to talk about that, but I will only talk about the real meaning of the reality of the reality or the nature of all the phenomena. So in Buddhism and Buddhist philosophy, the Buddha has said there are 2 truths, 2 truths on every phenomena. There are 2 truths with every phenomena. And so one is conventional truth and the other is ultimate truth. So here the Buddha talks only about ultimate truth. But at the same time, indirectly, he talks about conventional truth as well. So what is conventional truth? The conventional truth is that what we see normally, what we hear normally, what we taste normally, what we smell normally, all these are the conventional truth. And also with our mind, our thought, what we perceive, that is also conventional truth. So because they seems like a truth for all of us. So it is true. When you feel cold, the cold is there, and it is true. When you eat it's something sweet, then you taste the sweetness, and that is also true. But that is not the ultimate truth. So it is called conventional truth. So the conventional truth is there, but if we stick to conventional truth, then we will not realize there is no way to realize the ultimate truth. When we don't realize or don't understand the ultimate truth, then we, how do you say, we are always around the conventional truth, and then we sometimes we feel good, but then it follows something not very pleasant. For some moment we have pleasure, but after some time it changes into unpleasant or sometimes miserable. So that is conventional truth. So if we stick to that, then one never get out of that changes. So that changes is like, even if you are enjoying some kind of pleasure, that is not permanent. So it is definitely not permanent, and it will certainly change into unpleasant situation that we all experience. We all have that experience. So that is conventional truth. But even though it is a truth, there is no benefit to stick to that truth. So when you understand, and then when you realize the ultimate truth, then the ultimate truth is kind of permanent. So when you get to the ultimate truth, then permanently you enjoy pleasant situation, right? Yeah, pleasure. You enjoy pleasure permanently. So that's why the Buddha said that ultimate to realize ultimate truth is the essence. Okay, so to realize the ultimate truth, that is, you might have heard, most of you might have heard about Shunyata, the emptiness, Shunyata. So that is ultimate truth. So on each phenomena, there are two aspects. You know, one is conventional truth, aspect of conventional truth. The other is aspect of ultimate truth. So when we don't see the aspect of ultimate truth, then it is then we are in kind of illusion, because what we see, that is ultimately that is not right. And what we feel, how we perceive, how we receive feelings and so forth, they are not as we see, they are not as we feel, they are not as we taste. So in a way we are in an illusion, right? Yeah, we are in an illusion. So the illusion is not really true. You know, it's like a picture, a cinema. When we see that, that is, we know that is not real, and that is kind of illusion. You know, so there we sometimes we can enjoy some for some time, but since that is illusion, it is not true. It is not there. For example, there's a lot of pleasant things going on the screen, but there is nothing there. That is illusion. There is nothing there. So that's why the Buddha said in Heart Sutra, the first sentence is that what Buddha said: form is empty. There are 4 sentences that Buddha said first at the beginning. The form is empty, empty is form, emptiness is form. And emptiness is none other than the form. And the form is none other than the emptiness. There's 4 sentences. So when we talk about form, it refers mainly to our body. And the table, the tablecloth, the pen, or whatever we have, all are formed. But here mainly, form means our body, So our body is the form. The form is empty. So form is how the form is empty. Because if you analyze where is the form, where is the body, here is my body. But if you look into the body, then you don't find the body, because our hands are not our body. Our head is not our body. So if you take all these parts, put into parts, then then the form disappears. But sometimes when we think on the form, it is a bit difficult to understand the emptiness of form. Normally we are when we try to understand the emptiness of ourselves, then we analyze about I, myself, my, I, self. So when you look into that I, you try to find out that I, then it is easier to analyze with the I. So then when you try to find out I, where is I? Where is I am? Where is it? Is not inside our body. It is not outside our body. It is not, my hands is not me. My hands are not me. All parts of you go into all parts, you cannot find the I. And then sometimes we say your mind is our mind is maybe our I, ourselves, but your mind is not you. So the mind is not you, body is not you. So where are you? It disappears. It disappears because this is the real nature of you. But when you are in the illusion, then there's everything is there. Oh, I'm doing that. Oh, he hurt me. I did good things for him. I like him. I dislike him. All these things are there. But if you look into I and try to find out that I, then you can't find that. That is a good method to find out the emptiness of I. So when you get some good understanding of emptiness of I, then you can shift to other phenomena. So nowadays, that everybody knows, everybody discusses, the scientists, the physics, they all say that what we see is not true. What we observe is not true. The world as what see isn't there. the universe as we see isn't there. It's a different, and it's different, not only different. If you try to find out the whole world, then you go into great detail about the world structure, then it disappears. So they found that. Scientists also found that. So that is there. So the world is empty. World is empty. Similarly, the form is empty. So that's why the Buddha said the form is empty. The emptiness is form. So how the form is empty, that we discussed a little bit. And similarly, the mind is empty because the mind doesn't exist as we project, and I doesn't exist as we project. So it is only kind of an illusion, kind of an illusion that we see something, I, my mind, my this and my this and my that. So that is illusion. So that's why Buddha said form is empty. Now the emptiness is form. So whatever we see, the conventional truth that we talked earlier, the conventional truth, everything what we see, what we feel, all these popped up out of emptiness, and all these popped up out of the nature of emptiness. If it is not empty, then it cannot appear. It should be there all the time, the pleasant, the misery, whatever, the good, the bad, everything, all should be there. But it changes. It changes, and it comes into exist with some conditions and causes. When the causes and conditions are gone, then itself is gone, so it is not there. So like for example, if space is not there, then all the stars, planets cannot be there. The space is there, so the planets and stars and all our world, all whatever, all these those existence that we can see. So emptiness is form. And then when we think about the emptiness of the form, then and then emptiness is not different from the form. It is in there. It is another aspect of form. So that's why emptiness is none other than the form. And form is none other than the emptiness, because it is the form is none other than the emptiness, means the emptiness of form. So not the emptiness is all everywhere there. Emptiness of pen, emptiness of mobile, emptiness of everything. There are 4 features that Buddha just said. 4 features. They're there. So when we say the emptiness, that is the emptiness of form. So the emptiness of form is the other aspect of the form. So that's why emptiness is none other than the form. And then similarly, so in practice, mostly we try to find out or realize the emptiness on our being, ourselves. I try to find out the I, and then also in tradition, in our tradition, so we try to find out our mind, our thought. So when you look into our mind, in Sanskrit, it is called chitta. So, so in English, normally we use mind, but it is the right word for chitta or not. There is some doubt, but anyway, we don't have any other word in English. So chit is, when you look into chit, where is the chit? How it works? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? So you look into our chit, then you cannot find. That is very easily we can understand. But that chit is there, we feel it, So where is chit? The chit, the real chit is as we say, I think this, I thought this, and then I see this, that is there. That is conventional truth is there. But ultimately, the chit is empty. So similarly, we can analyze on feelings, and then also we can analyze on compositional factors within ourselves. There are 5 aggregates that Buddha has talked about, and that is, 5 aggregation, five aggregates: form aggregate, and feeling aggregate, discriminating mind, aggregation of discriminating mind. Discriminating means this is the good, this is bad. You can discriminate, This and then compositional aggregation, and then mind aggregation. So there are 5 aggregates. So we have to analyze on all those 5 aggregates. So in Heart Sutra, the Buddha already said that the Buddha always said there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no objects of touch, and no phenomena, no eye element, and so forth, till no mind element, and also till no element of mental consciousness. I'm reading out from the sutra, because I left the story at the beginning, that maybe you don't need that. No ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, till no aging, no death, no exhaustion of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering. There is no origin of suffering. There is no cessation, no path, wisdom, attainment, and non-attainment. Shariputra, reason being no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection wisdom. The perfection wisdom means the paramitas. In Sanskrit, we call paramitas. Prajna, Paramita, and Paramita. Prajna means wisdom. Paramita is translated as perfection, perfection. So, Prajna, Paramita, perfection, wisdom, so the perfection wisdom, even the perfection wisdom is empty. There is no obscuration and no fear in mind. Absolutely past beyond misapprehension. They completely gone into nirvana. Nirvana means liberation. So if we gone beyond all these conventional truth, then that is nirvana. Because when you realize the real state of the nature of all the phenomena, then you kind of dissolved into emptiness, and that is liberation. Nirvana means liberation. So you are liberated from all kinds of suffering. Also, all the Buddhas who are perfectly in the 3 times attained complete unsurpassed enlightenment through relying on the perfection wisdom. So all Buddhas, they became Buddha when they relying on the perfection wisdom. So that is what the Heart Sutra says. Mainly, this is the real body of Heart Sutra, and then there will be a mantra. The Heart Sutra mantra will follow. So that is all the real body of the sutra. So actually, in Buddha's teaching or in Buddhism, we talk about the equality of all beings. We are equal in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. Not only human beings, we take all beings, even in the tiny little insects, all the animals, so all the beings, they, what I was saying, we are equal in wanting happiness and not wanting sufferings. So we are equal. So, so how to get permanent happiness? So that is the path to enlightenment, what Buddha said. So the permanent happiness, in order to attain the permanent happiness, and we have to realize, first we have to understand the meaning of the real nature of phenomena. Then we have to realize the real nature of phenomena. Then we meditate on the real nature of phenomena. And then we can be, only then we can be free from all kinds of sufferings. That is called the nirvana or enlightenment. So in order to get to that, there are a lot of steps that we have to take. For that, Buddha has talked about 3 teachings, So the first is morality, and the second is meditation, and third is wisdom. So we practice these 3 teachings, and then we can be liberated. So firstly, we have to know about the morality and practice moral ethics in our life, and then meditation, and then wisdom. So the why the ethics, moral ethics is important because it is important because through actions we create karma. You know, through our actions we create our karma. So the karma brings results, good results. The good karma brings good results for us, and bad karma brings bad results for us. So that's why we have to train ourselves in maintaining good morality. So when we create good karma, then that is kind of helping helping, you know, cause to be able to understand, to be able to get to nirvana, to be able to get to liberation. So that is helping cause. So first we need to create good karma, lots of good karma. We must pile up lots of good karma, and that will help us to make us realize the emptiness and to make us be able to meditate. Sometimes there are so many scholars, even in Buddhists, among the Buddhists, there are so many scholars. They know a lot of things. They have a huge knowledge about Buddha Dharma. Buddha's teaching is called Buddha Dharma. So they have huge knowledge about Buddha Dharma. Still, they don't realize emptiness. They're lacking meditation, and they're lacking wisdom within themselves. So they cannot be liberated, even though they are a great scholar. They have great, tremendous knowledge. Why is it so? They know everything. They can explain. They can talk. But why they can't realize the ultimate truth? Because they have not enough good karma causes, good karma that can help them to get into it. That is, I'm talking according to Buddha Dharma. Now, that is also reality, because this is also reality, because I think the karma, theory of karma, this is reality. This has nothing to do with the Buddhism and Buddhists. So the karma can be applied for everybody, all beings, all sentient beings, because good action brings good result and bad action brings bad result. So that is a law of nature. The karma, I think the karma is law of nature. So that is law of nature. So that is the law that irrespective of your faith, you have to follow that, because this is law of nature. You cannot fight against the law of nature. You cannot destroy the law of nature. You know, there are a lot of, our world has developed a lot. We fly, we dive into the ocean, and we even have gone to moon, and now we are trying to go to Mars. So developed a lot, but we still cannot stop earthquake, the disaster of earthquake. disaster of tsunami, disaster of storm, the Tufan storm. I don't know. The big storms, tornado. We cannot stop. We don't have techniques to stop them. And there are a lot of, these are the big disasters that we experience time to time in this world. But there are smaller things. Even in your family, we have electricity, we have water supply, we have cars to move around. Everything is there. Still we have to face, a lot of unwanted things. We have to fight each other. We can be deceived by other people and so forth. So that is all because of karma. That is what Buddha says. So when you have created your karma, then the result will come definitely. So for positive results, we have to create positive karma. So to go to nirvana, we need to create a lot of positive karma, right? So that's why the first teaching is morality, teaching of morality. It is called in Sanskrit, it is called shila, shil. There are 5 moralities, panchshil, what we call it, panchshil. So the panchshila is the basic morality. So we must practice that. That is nothing to do with having faith in Buddha. For example, don't steal. Stealing is bad karma. So that is one of the panchshil. So stealing, nobody says stealing is a good thing. So almost nobody in the world, they wouldn't say stealing is a good thing. So stealing is a bad action, We all agree that. So that's bad karma. So don't do that. So there's one morality, for example. So, that is, so through that we create a lot of good karma and then try to realize emptiness. That is the ultimate truth, the real nature of the phenomena. And then when we understand that, then we meditate on that. So that is meditation teaching. So for meditation teaching, there are 2 steps. One is shamatha. One is analytical meditation, and one is single-pointed meditation. So first we have to practice analytical meditation. So the analytical meditation is that we discussed, try to find where is I, where is my mind, where is this my feeling, where? You try to find out. So this is analytical meditation. So when you have done the analytical meditation, then you will find the ultimate truth, the empty of the nature of the phenomena. Then you do the single-pointed meditation. So that is called vipassana. Shamatha. That is called shamatha. In English, we call calm abiding. Calm abiding. Calm abide on that object. So when you calmly abide on that object, then that is shamatha. So then you feel the real nature of samsara, the real nature of all phenomena. So you feel it and you meditate on that. And then you meditate, then become the, what do you call that? wisdom, vipassana. Then through union of vipassana and shamatha, then you will be liberated. So that is three teachings that Buddha has given, and among them, the most important teaching is to understand and to realize the emptiness, and that is the real teaching of Heart Sutra. Okay, Sonali, Dr. Sonali, you hear me? Is there anybody?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, we are
Okay.
all here. We were Rinpoche ji, we were so contemplating because
yes.
you know, I was just thinking that the Heart Sutra is such an important sutra because it really deconstructs and demolishes, you know, how we understand reality. It makes us think out of the box. It makes us think that we cannot just be in that role of duality. And once we navigate that, we can really understand the meaning of existence, and through compassion. And I feel like in this sutra, Avilokiteshwar, he features in this. So that is also, I feel, very important because the element of compassion is so important in understanding perception as well. Without that, and you stressed on morality
Right.
and compassion, and that and the Heart Sutra, I think it all emanates from the heart, and it's so important to follow this, and kind of at the level of understanding, uh, and it tells you like reality is not how we think reality to be. It is not the end all, and it's everything is an illusion. So thank you so much for you know, giving this talk.
Do
Because
I need to take questions?
oh yes, would that be okay?
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So all of you who are here, if you have questions, now is the time to raise your hands, and you can ask questions from Rinpoche ji. If you can raise your hands right now so I can take the questions. Anyone? I'll just open the gallery so that we can see everybody. Yes, does anybody have questions, or everybody just thinks they know the Heart Sutra well? So I'll ask a question. So in the Heart Sutra, we see Buddha is talking to Shariputra, his disciple. So if you could tell us, Rinpoche ji, the context of how this talk started, and where it started, and a little background of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't read out the background. That is already there, written in the Heart Sutra. So if you like, I can read that out. Once upon a time, I heard when the Bhagavan was staying in Rajagira, on heaps of vultures mountain, together with the great assembly of monks and a great assembly of Bodhisattva. So this Rajgira is in Bihar. Nowadays it's in Bihar, near Nalanda. So the Buddha was in that mountain, and then all the monks and the disciples were there. Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, no Buddhas, assembly of monks and great assembly of Bodhisattvas. The monks means, monks, and great assembly of Bodhisattva means Bodhisattva who are monks. So they are greater than the ordinary monks, So at that time, the Bhagavan was observed in the meditation of nominal aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that time, also the Bodhisattva, the great Sattva, Avalokiteshvara, was absolutely looking at the profound practice of the perfection wisdom, also looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates. So the Buddha went into meditation. So Buddha sit there, and the Buddha was meditating on called profound illumination, and so Buddha was meditating, and at that time Avalokiteshvara was there. He was also he was also looking at the profound wisdom, that is emptiness, right? Then by the power of Buddha, by the blessings and power of Buddha, the Shariputra asked a question to Avalokiteshvara, as Dr. Sonali was saying, that Avalokiteshvara is a Bodhisattva. That time he was in the form of a Bodhisattva. So Bodhisattva means one who is practicing bodhicitta, body mind, what we say, bodhicitta, who has bodhicitta, already generated bodhicitta within themselves, and they are already on the path to enlightenment. They are called Bodhisattvas. And the Buddhas are not called Bodhisattvas in terminology, in strict terminology. So Buddha means fully enlightened. Bodhisattvas, they are already path to get to enlightenment. So the Avalokiteshvara is the a form of compassion that Dr. Sonali was mentioning, the compassion. So I didn't talk about compassion because the compassion is not the direct matter of this sutra. Indirectly, of course, compassion was mentioned there, but in direct speech, it is not mentioned there. So I didn't talk about compassion. But without compassion, you cannot get to the enlightenment. So the compassion is, there are so many different levels of compassion. So the compassion in every level is very beneficial. Even our daily life, being compassionate is very beneficial for ourselves and for our family and for our society and throughout the world. So we cannot go into great detail about compassion, because I don't know. Anyway, then by the power of Bhagavan, the Venerable Shariputra said to the Bodhisattva, the great Sattva, Avalokiteshvara, how should exercise a blessed son who wishes to practice the profound perfection wisdom, which he said so. The Bodhisattva, the great Sattva, Avalokiteshvara, said to the Venerable Shariputra like this: Shariputra, whosoever blessed son or daughter wishes to practice the profound wisdom should look mindfully like this subsequently. Look at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then it comes, form is empty, emptiness is form, and so forth. So the Shariputra asked a question to Avalokiteshvara because Buddha was meditating. So Buddha blessed Shariputra to make this question to Avalokiteshvara. So Buddha also blessed Avalokiteshvara to answer the question that was asked by Shariputra, and that is in Rajgiri. It happened like that. It says so. Sonali ji. Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche ji. And it's important, when we talk about these places, Raj, I've been to Rajgir. I was in the 11th grade when I went to Rajgir. And, just going to these places, you get a sense of, again, like that these places exist. And this was said, and it tells you, okay, that part is real. And then you get into the text itself, that what is real as we know it is something so different. I would urge all of you to have your videos on so that we can all see your faces. And if you have questions, please pose them. Or maybe you're all contemplating at this stage and it's like very deep and you're really kind of engaging with what you just heard, because it kind of tells us that reality as we know it is not that reality, it's something else. So anybody?
Sumati.
So
good.
Sangeeta ji writes, indeed, compassion is the need of our humanity suffering for the lack of it, and only talks and understanding of these deep emotion will help. So if you would like to say something, Sangeeta ji, yeah, we have finally a hand raised. That is our reality right now. Yes, please go ahead with your question. And if you could put your camera on, if that's not inconvenient. Yeah.
A very good evening. It was indeed very enlightening to hear about the sutras. And yes, you're very correct that listening put me into a really contemplative mode. And the more I heard, the more deeper I went, and the questions somehow got lost in the process. Because after such a wonderful talk, I don't think I have many questions. I still have to think and contemplate. Yes, what I could deeply understand is that compassion is indeed the need of the hour. And when we hear talks of this level and this beauty and this depth, then you just get to understand that this is one of the deepest emotions with Buddhism teaches, that humanity will only be saved when this emotion is felt and experienced by all of us. Because the world seems to be going at war for a lot of petty reasons. And these heart sutras are something which I feel if I could understand more deeply, that would really help me. Thank you so much for the wonderful talks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Benny.
Yeah.
My another friend.
And
okay.
Rinpoche ji, I want to introduce you to Mahima. Mahima and I, we have set up the institute in her village in Dhami. So Mahima, if you could introduce yourself as well.
Mahima,
good evening. Yes, good evening, Rinpoche. And, before this, when Sonali was scheduling this session and we thought of the month of Feb, Sonali, the first thing that came to her mind was Heart Sutra, and she talked about you, and she talked about, how Feb has to be about Heart Sutra. And about this, session, I would like to say thank you so much. As Ms. Sangeeta already said, it was so healing listening to all of this. And, we need to really ponder over each and every word that you said. And, we need to bring it into action as well. Yes, about introducing myself. So yes, now the Himalayan Institute of Heritage and Studies, our founder is going to be here in Dhami. And I feel the small village of Dhami is going to see a new renaissance under her, because the kind of projects she's bringing in, especially which are catering to the rural people out there, their upliftment, their progress. It is just, I don't have words. I get overwhelmed with the kind of, ideologies and philosophies she has about, conserving the culture of that place. So yeah, so this is all about the Renaissance that we are going to see in Dhami. And along with the Himalayan Institute, we are going to start off with a sister company by the name of Pahari Vibes, where we are going to be hospitality partners to Hicks, and a lot of new projects are also going to come in. And I
Hicks,
would
Himalayan Institute. Hicks.
Huh?
And I would feel blessed and privileged if we could, if you would allow us to host you there in Dhami. And I look forward to having you there. Good.
And Rinpoche ji,
Thank you. Thank you very
Mahima,
much. Dr. Sonali invited me many times to
Kulu.
her place when she was in Kulu. I couldn't make it. I'm very sorry, but I would definitely like to visit this new place.
Yeah.
And which is nearer to my place where I am. I mean Kinnaur,
Yeah.
Mahima Dadji. I mean
Yes.
Kinnaur. Yes.
And Rinpoche ji, Mahima comes from the family of the person who gave Himachal its name.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Himachal.
Yes.
Oh.
A
Yeah.
little bit trivia I will just share about him. So he was our great grandfather. His name was Acharya Divakar Dutt Shastri. And I think so in, the small village of Dhami is now, attracting all those people, who had his ideology. And Acharya Divakar Dutt strongly said that, we need to, he in fact worked a lot for the statehood of Himachal Pradesh. And so I feel that, having Dr. Sonali in Dhami is a manifestation of all these people who done some great work for, establishing the statehood of Himachal. So yes, just I wanted to say that about Dhami.
Thank you, Mahima.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dadji. And मैं आपको नमन करता हूँ. Your great father created Himachal. You deserve my naman.
And my naman to you as well. We are waiting for you in Dhami now.
So we have a question from Shubhadeep and then Rajoli. Shubhadeep, over to you. If you could put your camera on, please.
Yeah, hi, Sonali. Actually, I may not be visible because I'm sitting in a dark room. And I was listening and I
getting
was actually
illuminated
meditating.
by talks. While getting illuminated by the Heart Sutra, you're sitting in the dark.
Yeah. Actually, I was actually meditating also, listening, and it was very beautiful. The only thing that I wanted to talk it was that to Rinpoche is that you're talking about shunyata as the reality, and we have a physical reality. So when you're talking about reconciling both these realities, is compassion the only way to reconcile both, or is there anything else? That's all.
Okay. I wouldn't say compassion is the only way to reconcile these two truths I think you are talking about, right? But the compassion is always there within ourselves. And we sometimes, most of the time, we try to suppress our innate compassion, loving kindness. That is, sometimes we dilute our compassion, our love, that we dilute our love and our compassion, and then we try to divide. This is my relative, this is my friend, I love them, and this is not my friend, I don't care. So that we dilute the innate compassion and love. So that is the innate compassion and love that is always there. That have been always there with us. So without that, we cannot develop. And for example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama always says that without mother's affection, we cannot survive. You know, so the love is very important, because our very survival absolutely dependent on the love, affection of our mother. So mostly without mother's affection, even we survive. Sometimes if you don't get the affection from our mother, some unfortunate things happens, and then that affects the child. That affects the child. So that but when we talk about the great compassion, so without great compassion, so when we talk about compassion, there are so many levels of compassion and love. So we love our friends, we love our parents, we love our children. That is also compassion. That is also love, loving kindness. But that is partial, bias. So when we talk about great compassion, that is without bias, without bias, compassion, and aiming all sentient beings, including insects. That is called great compassion. So you don't need great compassion to realize the emptiness. You don't need the great compassion to be just liberated from samsara. You need great compassion to be enlightened, to become Buddha. Then you need great compassion. Without great compassion, without the help of great compassion, you cannot become a Buddha. Without the realization of emptiness, you cannot be liberated. So the both are equally necessary to be enlightened. Is that clear?
Yeah, so what you're saying is compassion is the path to enlightenment, or compassion is the result of your enlightenment, which helps you to operate in the world.
Okay, compassion is path to enlightenment. Compassion is the seeds of enlightenment, seed of enlightenment, and the compassion is the result of enlightenment. So the Chandrakirti, the what do you call Chandrakirti, the Nalanda great Pandit Chandrakirti, he said in his book about Madhyamika, that is middle way, engage into Madhyamika. That book is called Madhyamika Avatara, Madhyamika Avatara in Sanskrit. So in this book, at the beginning, he said, the compassion is like seed to the enlightenment, and the compassion is like fertilizer to grow or to develop the practice to get to the enlightenment. And the compassion is the result, because if one becomes Buddha, then you are liberated, then you have no problem, you are dissolved into happiness. So if you don't have compassion, then the Buddha will not act for us. So Buddha is trying to help us because of the compassion. So that is what Chandrakirti said.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also, I feel having compassion gives you a happiness that is not equaled, and it's not a happiness that you want to control or hold. It's it is a happiness that flows naturally when you practice compassion. So
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think all of us here today, we should practice that. And one last question, Rinpoche ji. I know it's late for you, but we won't let you go before this. Rajoli is our research scholar, Rinpoche ji. She at the Himalayan Institute. She's a very, very fine researcher. She's researched in Kulu, and now she is going to research on the yogic tantra with Ian Baker very soon. So Rajoli, over to you.
Where is Ambika?
There. Yeah, Ian Baker, he is in Thailand right now. He'll be coming to India very soon. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I will let him know you were asking. Yeah. Okay, Rajoli.
Good evening, sir. It's an honor to have you here and listen to the philosophies of Heart Sutra. And thank you for making all of us understand the Heart Sutra. We've actually heard Heart Sutra so many times, but we never actually understood what it meant. So thank you for the deep explanation. So my question to you, like, you know, how Dr. Sonali was saying that we were contemplating about the Heart Sutra, and it took us time, especially for me, to actually understand what it all means. And you spoke about good action brings good karma, and bad actions bring bad result. And thereafter you spoke of law of nature, which cannot be destroyed. So like recently, as we all know, there was an earthquake in Turkey, and it took away so many lives, innocent lives also. So I'm not able to understand how, you know, like law of nature can also take away the good people, and how does it justify? So yeah, that's the question.
Okay. Oh. So, Rajoli. Rajoli question is a very philosophical question. So she is a researcher, so she is already a scholar. So it is there is always confusion when we talk about karma, because this question was asked by our people, the Buddhists also, because Buddhists, among the Buddhists, they also have faith in what Buddha said, but sometimes it's difficult to understand because you know there are so many people we can see who's doing a lot of bad karma, who's doing a lot of bad things, still enjoying all goody things, like, you know, good house, whatever, good company, and good food, and the power, and, you know, all these kind of things. So sometimes we see this, and on the other hand, we see good people, compassionate people, loving people, and they suffer a lot. Sometimes they get sick, sometimes they become very poor, and whatever, they suffer a lot in different in different form. So where is the karma? So it is very difficult to answer this question. Actually, the only Buddha can answer your question. But
Okay.
In ancient time, there was a king, and then the king had 500 wives, you know, and then they had servants as well, and then they all the 500 wives, they practice dharma, and they have attained certain level of the state, okay, certain level of the path, and then one day, to make it short, anyway, one day there was fire in the palace, and the palace where all the consorts of the king lives, that caught fire, and then the most of them, they have reached, they have attained some kind of attainments. So they fly in the sky, space. They fly in the space over the palace, and then later the main concert said that we must accept our karma. So they all fell into the fire, and all those 500 consorts died. They were burned alive. And then there was a servant, one lady servant, who was a hunched, with a hunchback. So he somehow, there is a drainage kind of little tunnel. So she escaped from that, and she was not burned. So so what was the Buddha? What was the karma? Buddha was asked, and Buddha said, so long time ago, these 500 wives, they were together, and then they with the servant, and then they went to the forest, and then they saw one rishi, you know, rishi, some kind of meditator, you know.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, some in the forest there was a rishi, and his cottage got fire, and he was burned, you know, alive, and then he was making noise, you know, and then all those 500 ladies, they enjoyed that scene, and then they laughed, and but the one that lady servant, she didn't laugh because she felt compassionate towards the rishi. So that was the karma. That was the karma. So that gave the result, and this servant was not enjoyed by the suffering, the rishi suffering, seeing rishi suffering, so she wasn't burned. So that was karma. One thing, okay? So karma is very difficult to explain because this is very subtle. Karma is very subtle. So in our place, in my place, that when people ask this question, I said, the Buddha also said there's a Diamond Cutter Sutra. In Diamond Cutter Sutra, you might have heard about this sutra. In Diamond Cutter Sutra, Buddha said the bodhisattvas who practice perfection wisdom, they will suffer, and they will suffer more and more and more. He said that. So this is another question. And then in my society, so when people ask me this question, I said, you know, the butcher in our place. There's a butcher in our place. The butcher kills at least 8 to 9 goats or sheep per day. So when you kill, according to the Buddhism, if you kill one person or one animal, that is a big bad karma. It is considered huge bad karma, because the life is the most precious to everybody. So including sheep and goats. So he accumulates huge bad karma every day and every day. And now you look at this man. This man is fine. This man wasn't that rich. Now he's becoming richer and richer. Made a house in his native place, bought car for his children, and so forth. Why is it so? Where is the karma? So here the answer is he has a huge bad karma. It cannot be ripened in this life, because in this life, what he can suffer. He can suffer some kind of illness, or he can lose his house, his money, his property. Other than that, and that cannot compensate his karma. So his karma is so huge that he is to suffer enormously, you know. So then his good karma, left over his good karma, that ripens earlier than this action. So he gets good luck in this short life, and then after this life, then it will the bad karma will give the result. So, and then on the other hand, some people who's doing good things all the time, still suffering because he has accumulated huge amount of good karma, and that cannot be ripened in human realm. It should be in Dev realm or Devlok realm or whatever, you know. So Devlok realm, if you believe in Devlok realm, then that is an example. That is an example. So he suffers always headache, always ill, always get unfortunate because he's little leftover bad karma that is ripening, and that will be finished in this life, and then he will enjoy the result of good karma in the future. That is the explanation according to Buddhist theory. Okay, clear?
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Nice
Rajoli.
explanation. Yes.
Thank you, Rajoli,
Thank
for the question, because that really, you know, because we always think about why bad people are having such a gala time and why people who feel they're good are suffering, right? That's always the question. Neeraj, over to Neeraj. Rinpoche ji, Neeraj is my friend from school, and he and I are starting our non-profit in America now. the Himalayan Conservation and Preservation Society. So Neeraj, over to you.
Yeah, Rinpoche, thank you so much for the enlightened talk. I learned a few things again. I've studied Buddhist philosophy for many years, but it's always great to hear and get a refresher on what things are the most important aspect. I would not take too much time of yours. I know it's getting late up in India, but I would want you to promise us that you're going to come back to us one more time in the near future, where we can ask you more deeper questions that I have, especially around morality, especially around how things in certain religions and cultures can be construed as part of the culture and cannot come under the purview of maybe Buddhist philosophy. Like, what is your opinion about it? And in certain ways, how things that are, seen through the cultural lens or lenses that we could perceive our reality to be. A lot of things that, were written long time ago in these sutras, how has that changed? How have you changed in terms of how those things were written at that point of time with that cultural outlook, but now the world has changed. So how do you cut through that? How do you take something that is, perceived as something because of the cultural background or the way we've been brought up versus we as compassionate beings? So again, like I said, I don't want to take too much time, but I would like you to promise us that you're going to have another session where we can ask these kind of questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dira ji, thank you. I will come back, of course. And I will, because I cannot, I have no guts to refuse Dr. Sonali's request.
I agree with you. She is very, very compelling. She is very, very forceful with her beliefs, and she has convinced me also to be part of this.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Rinpoche ji. And
Thank
thank you so much. And whenever Rinpoche ji and I meet, he always gets Starbucks coffee for me. And I'm looking forward to our next Starbucks coffee together, Rinpoche ji, soon. I really long for coming to Ki, and all of those who are here and who would want to experience the beautiful monastery which belongs to the 9th or the 10th century. It's in Lahore, Spiti. It's a district in Himachal Pradesh, very far-flung, beautiful. Please do pay a visit and see the wonderful work that Rinpoche ji is doing there, spreading awareness about the Heart Sutra and so many other teachings. So, of course, Rinpoche ji, I urge you to come back, and we will, disperse for the day. We'll have Rinpoche ji carry on with his evening duties in Kinnaur. And all of you who are here, thank you so much for joining us. I really want to thank Liv, Zach. Zach is sitting right next to me. He was my former student. You can say hi. Yeah. And he's come here to meet me. And it feels like we are sitting in Himachal again, sitting cross-legged and listening to the Heart Sutra. So I'm just so happy. We had such a lovely Saturday morning here in America. And all of you here, you can think, ruminate, and think deeply about the Heart Sutra and have pleasant dreams and think about the nature of perception. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next week for a talk on the Mahabharata, the philosophy of the Mahabharata, especially the 14th chapter, which talks about the Pandavas coming to the Himalayas, by Dr. Bala Ganapati, who is the head of the Department of Philosophy, University of Delhi, now in Jamaica. He will be joining us next week for another enlightening talk on philosophies of the Himalayas. So thank you so much, Rinpoche ji and Jule.
Julie,
Yeah.
God bless everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Guru. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Bye.